Namaskar. My name is Amod Pradhan from Greenwich, Nepalese Gurkha integration project of Community Empowerment Support Initiative UK. Our aim is to increase wider participation of Gurkha veterans to preserve their heritage through oral history. Thank you for joining the program. Could you give us your introduction with your army rank and number, please?
Thank you, Ahmad. My name is ex-Staff Sergeant Kesh Bahadur Gurung, and my army number is 21163666, and I retired at the rank of the Staff Sergeant in 1996.
Thank you. What was your family life like when you were growing up? Could you describe your childhood, please?
I was born in Thangting, Namarjung Village Development Committee in Kaski, Gandaki Anchal, Nepal. And mostly I grew up in Thangting. And my father was a farmer, and he controls a herd of sheep and a herd of cattle, and also some farming, growing the crops and all these things. And then actually we were 5 brothers. 4 of us joined in the British Army, and I was the second to join in the British Army.
Please tell us about your education qualification, where and when you achieved.
Well, I did my primary school in Thangting. After that, I moved to Tharkang, Dhruva Lower Secondary School for my lower secondary school, and then I moved to Janajyoti Madhyamik Vidyalaya in Kalikastan and the National Multipurpose High School in Pokhara, from where I did my SLC, School Leaving Certificate. After a few years, and then I went to Kathmandu Sanutimi campus to do my teacher training, which is a general certificate in education, and is equal to A level here. And then I started teaching in Thangting.
So, why did you decide to join in British Army, and where and when?
Actually, in our society, there's a lot of ex-Gurkhas, and most of the Gurungs, when they grew up, they wanted to join the British Army, and that influence motivated me to join in the British Army as well. Actually, to join in the British Army, I felt that it's got a long employment, and you can work and visit different countries in different environment, and at the end you get the pension. So that I thought it's better to go join in the British Army, and then I started training, and then I joined in the British Army.
Okay. So, what sort of training did you get after selection and during your service? Do you remember?
Actually, I joined in the British Army in Pokhara, 1980, the 16th of January. Then we flew off to the Brunei to do our recruit training. The recruit training was 6 months, and then in our time there was a lot of recruiting in the British Army, and in Hong Kong there was a training depot for the British Army. But suddenly there's a huge recruits in the army, we were decided to send to the Brunei with the 10 Gurkha rifles to do the training. So I did my basic infantry training in Brunei, which include drills, basic fieldcraft, and patrolling, and physical training, and swimmings, and education, and weapon training, all that of sort of training as an infantryman needed, we did in Brunei. After we did in Brunei, I flew off to Hong Kong in July 1980, and then we started our military engineering training, which is normally the sappers do it. So to become a sappers, you have to do the 7 months basic engineering training, which include basic engineering skills, field defense, and breaching. The breaching is comprised of extra weight belly breach, EWBB, and medium girder breach, and MGB, and improvised breach. And then we also train on the demolition, to demolish on the breaches, roads, all those are explosive devices. And then we train on the minefield, so to lay the mines, and also to recover the mines and clearance the enemy mines. And also we train on the water supply, to supply for the brigade on the battlefield, and also watermanship, handling and operating of boats on the sea. And since then we become sappers. Once you become sapper, and then you are tested academically, and you are tested on your ability to do the trades. So we have a lot of trades, and then I was selected and as a electrician, and then I did my electrician training in 1985, which is a Royal Engineer Electrician Part 1 and 2, and later on in 1989 I did a Class 1 Electrician and the Royal School of Military Engineering in Brompton, UK. All of the courses were in the UK anyway, and the Royal School of Military Engineering in Brompton. And then there were a lot of courses for the promotion as well, which is a junior leader cadre, which I did, and then section commander courses, Royal Engineer, and senior engineer courses, and at the end the field sergeant courses, which is normally all the officers do the field sergeant as well, and the demolition safety also courses, that sort of courses, and some sort of the map reading instructor and jungle warfare instructor, and all these are trainings I did in my army career.
Yeah, it's a huge training. So I go to ask your regiment, especially your regiment question.
Yeah.
About the question. Do you have any idea when the Queen's Gurkha Engineers was formed?
Yes, the Queen's Gurkha Engineer was initially formed in September 1948 in Kulang, and later on in 1951 April, then is expanded to the 67 Gurkha Field Squadron and 68 Gurkha Field Squadron and the regimental headquarters and support squadron. And then again in 1955 it was retitled to Gurkha Engineers. And again in 1966 the regiment reorganized as a headquarters and training Squadron, and 70 Park Training Squadron, and 67 Independent Field Squadron. The Field Squadron become Independent Field Squadron, 68 Field Independent Squadron, and 69 Field Independent Squadron. And the 69 was disbanded on 1968. In 1967, 2nd of the June, the Gurkha engineer become the Queen's Gurkha Engineers in Hong Kong. So in Queen's Gurkha Engineers, when I joined in the Queen's Gurkha Engineer in 1980, we have the regimental headquarters and 67 Gurkha Field Squadron in Perun Barracks, and 68 Gurkha Field Squadron in Bahadur camp where I was posted, and 70 Squadron in Shekong, Hong Kong. So there were 5 squadron at that time. And later on, in 1981, 69 Gurkha Independent Field Squadron was formed in Chatham, UK.
Thank you. I have been to Chatham once last year. What were the notable changes in the Queen's Gurkha Engineers?
Well, the notable changes already I have described few minutes ago as well. Actually, the notable changes in the Queen's Gurkha Engineers, after 1981, where the 69 Gurkha Independent Field Squadron was formed in Chatham, and then in 1993, 68 Gurkha Field Squadron was disbanded from Bahadur camp, and 67 Gurkha Field Squadron was reorganized as a 67 Independent Field Squadron and moved to second camp in Hong Kong, and it was disbanded on 1996. And then we, the Queen's Gurkha Engineers, had approximately 900 people, and then due to the Hong Kong handover to China, then we had a redundant, and from 900 people, then we reduced to 200, so 700 had to go. I was one of them, and only 200 moved to the UK and in Chatham, and then later on they moved to the Maidstone, and 2003 they re-raised the 70 Squadron, and these are the notable changes in my time.
Okay. What are the separate trade in the Queen's Gurkha Engineers? Please, could you give us a brief explanation?
Thank you for that. The sappers, when the sappers get their engineering basic skill training of 7 months, and they were tested academically and tested on their ability. So normally it depends on their choices as well, and also the regiment vacancies as well. Whatever vacancies in the regiment, and they motivate to do that training. So normally some people are selected for surveying, and some people are selected for design and draftsman. That courses in our time is normally 9 months course, and some are selected on electricians, depend on their mathematics, and some tester on the engine fitters and plant operators. These trades are normally trained in UK Royal School of Military Engineering in Brompton Barracks. And also there are trades, carpenter and joiners, and painter and finishers, bricklayer and concreters. These trades were run in Hong Kong, Bowring came as well, and also run in the UK, in Chatham as well. Apart from this trade, we have the other trades like vehicle mechanics and signal training, driver training, and cook training as well. So there were a lot of choices in the trade, in the engineers as a tradesmen.
Thank you. Did you have an opportunity to go to insurgency operation, battle, and war? Tell us about those experiences if you had.
Actually, during our time, mostly we spent on the peace. During our time, there was a lot of insurgency training, which is we call IS training, internal security training. And I did a lot of training on the IS, and also we went to the Falkland after war. The Falkland War was 1982, and then I went there twice in 1985. In 1985, I worked as a airport electrician and then controlling all the airport lights. And the second time I went to 1989, where I was a troop sergeant. And apart from there, I went to the disaster relief in Vanuatu, which is near the Australia, and also the operation in Nepal.
So, during your service, where did you travel? Do you recall any humorous or unusual events, or any excited or unhappy events? If you have, please tell us.
Actually, during my service, I served mainly in Hong Kong, and then United Kingdom, and Falkland Island, and Brunei, and Malaysia, Nepal, and Fiji Island, and Vanuatu in Australia. Yes, I do remember some of the occasions. I was my squadron in Malaysia in training. Then I was in parent barracks because due to my elder son was due, and so after 3 days the elder son was born, and then my wife was in hospital, and then I had to fly to the Australia on disaster relief. So on that time in Vanuatu, we repaired the 7 schools, and we put the roof on it, and we put the the wall on it, and we repaired the 7 schools in Vanuatu. And similarly, after 1.5 years, again I was in Hong Kong, and then it was due to again by luck, it's my second baby, and then after my second baby, then I had to go to Brunei on exercise. So on that time I was section commander. So there was a shortage of section commander in the troop. So I need to lead the troop in Brunei. So both of my wife's delivery cases, I was away, and then my wife, she has to manage herself with other friends, and then my good memory is that it was in 1990, I think, yeah, and then we had a section commander courses in Hong Kong, and then it was very rigorous training, and it was very good report writings and all these things. And then at the end, they awarded me as a best student, or the overall what they call is the best student on the section commander. So these memories I still remain with me. And also in Falkland, on the airport, we had exercise. It was a 48 hours exercise, and we need to clear all the electrical problems, and then all the lights were not working, and then we had to repair it, and it was quite tricky to find the faults. At the end, we found the fault and we repaired the lights, and then we landed the Harrier on the airport within the time. These times I still remember.
Okay. So, what accomplishment were you the most proud of from the service?
Well, actually, I served in the British Army for more than 17 years, and I enjoyed my service in the British Army in the different places and different environment, and some of them are very hard. And in Hong Kong, although we were engineers, we had two roles to play. One is the infantry role, which is fighting as an infantryman, and another one was the engineering role. So we work as engineers. So some of the exercises in Hong Kong, where we had 7 days working and competition, all this around the around the Lantau Island. So these memories still remain me, because my leg was blistered in many places. So that recall still remind me.
Okay. At the end of the service, what was your last appointment and responsibility? How long did you serve and when you retire?
Yes, my last appointment was that staff sergeant, troop staff sergeant in I troop in Hong Kong, which I had to control about 35 people, and I have to manage 35 people. And then, as I said earlier, I was made redundant due to the Hong Kong handover, and then I left the British Army in October 1996.
Thank you. So, do you recall your experiences in the army? What was your second career after the retirement? Did your army career contribute to it?
Yes, it did it, because I was trained as a electrician class 1, which is course C, electrical installation and maintenance. That contributed me quite a lot, and after retirement, actually I come back to the UK to do my health and safety diploma and NIBO certificate. And I did it in the UK, and then I went back to the Nepal. And then I joined in Kali Gandaki hydroelectric project in the Mirimi Sangja as a safety engineer. And then I worked there more than a year. And that project was quite a big project, hydroelectric, which involved a lot of machines and more than 3,000 laborers. So I had to look after the safety of them. And after then, I was posted to Pakistan to take the safety engineer job in Pakistan, the Ghazi Barota project in Tarbela in Pakistan, where my duty was also safety engineer there in a Tarbela dam initially, in a C1 project near the Tarbela, and later on I took over the in charge of the safety for the project. So then I served there about nearly 3 years, and due to the September 11 and the US was attacking Afghanistan, and then we have to leave the Pakistan. So I left the Pakistan and then stayed in Nepal and did the voluntary work on the motorable road construction in our site. So on that time I was selected as a coordinator to construct and to raise the fund and to build the motorable road, where I work as a volunteer nearly about 3 years, and then we built about 11 kilometers of motorable road to Tangting, Sikles, and where we use the jeep service and the bus service and taxi service. And then I moved to UK.
Okay. So when did you arrive in the UK, and how did you manage to settle yourself down in the UK? Could you please tell us briefly?
Yes, actually I moved to UK on October 2004, and actually I had a training for the safety again, the NIBOS Diploma Part 1, and after that I had my indefinite leave to remain in UK, and then since then I settled in the UK, and I'm now working on one of the outdoor advertising company as a electrical maintenance supervisor or manager, and it's been nearly 5 years there. And now I'm settled in Southeast London, Whaling, with my wife, 2 sons, and my daughter. And my 2 sons recently graduated, and the elder son graduated as a BSc Economics and Finance from Brunel University, and my younger son graduated from Queen's Mary University as a Bachelor of Engineering, and both got honors, so I am proud of them, and I'm living happily in East London, Whaling.
Did you join a veteran organization after the retirement?
Yes, I did. Actually, after retirement, I was an active member of the Nepal Ex-Servicemen Association in Nepal, and I was active member. I work as a secretary as well on the British department. And since I moved to UK, and then we established a Nepal Ex-Servicemen Association in the UK, and now I'm active on that organization.
Words of advice would you like to pass on to all of us?
Well, the advice I like to pass to the Gurkha communities or Nepalese communities is that in the UK, integration is a vital part of our life. Although we were in the army and we were in the Ssgt street, but now things are changing in the UK, and most of the standards here are changing, and so we have to stick on the standard of the UK. And in many aspects, like health and safety aspects, the job-wise aspect, and community activities and council activities, all these sort of things I think we need to integrate in the UK.
Thank you very much sharing your life history and valuable information, helping to success of this project.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you.